Another great Friday reset night, World versus World, Air and War Guilds running together. And I'm on Healbrand as usual. And you can see here we're going to start off with a warm-up fight taking Red's Keep. Or Garrison, I should say. We had a lot of good fights in here tonight. Red wasn't running as strong as they usually do. Blue was running their usual boon ball build, which you'll see in the last fight of this video was quite a protracted battle, but a good one nonetheless. It was well played by us. So we're just trying to keep them off group, keep dropping stability of course, and if you're ever fighting this boss, just make sure you stand right underneath him in his hitbox so you don't have to worry about the shockwave. And trust your healers. We're getting some downs as they get a little bit too close. You can see I love my tone 1-3. Getting some pull action in there. Now we're just going to try and keep these guys off our lawn, out of the ring. And they're going to contest for a while, but then they kind of withdraw. Bad winds. I gotta learn to stay out of those still. Yeah, the lag was so bad I couldn't weapon swap at one point when I wanted to weapon swap. Crazy. Thankfully it didn't really impact what we needed to do. We still ended up winning this fight and taking this garrison. But it does become a challenge, and of course, I'm sure I'm not the only one affected. Even I'm sure our opponents deal with that as well. It's just a part of life, unfortunately, when things get really crowded and busy on the server. Alright, that was it. So blue's coming in. Here's your big group. They had a smaller group back on the catapults. So here I'm going to drop stability because watch this. You can see some Necro Greatsword pulls. That's why you use stability in those instances, or be far enough back or on your mount. And now we're going to hop down. We're going to circle around and grab that smaller blue group on the catapults in the flank. Here we go. Alright, that was good. They go inside. We're going to meet them on the Lord. And so, remember when dealing boom balls, you cloud if you have to, and you always circle around on the tail. Just grab the tail pieces. It's a very long, fought-out war, which is can be very annoying for this battle, because you got to take them bits and pieces at a time. Like that saying goes, eat that elephant with small bites. So that is definitely why it takes forever, and then all you have left is your core, and even then it's still hard to take them out, because it's like, if anybody's played Guild Wars 1, it's like finding yourself in random arena against a team of 3 or 4 monks. You just almost want to quit. But we don't quit, we just keep trying, and we grind till we get the last little bits. And it's satisfying when you win, don't get me wrong, but it is definitely can be tedious. I guess one good thing that I look at it this way as I'm doing this, and you'll see it later on in the last video, it just gives me an opportunity to practice my rotation, my builds, you know, find out really how well are my skills holding together, how well am I rotating through them and linking them and such. Not only keep myself standing, but my subgroup or my squad mates as well. So I'm going to have to jump off here in a second and dive, because they're going to push back and forth on the bridge. And that's one good thing about being in Firekeep when you own it, is you can hop off the ledge to get out of any damaged spikes, bombs, etc. So here they come, and we are going to come over here, and I am going to hop off in just a second. First, I'm going to res my friend, because that's what we do. LNHB forever. Here we go. Whee! Cut it back when I get back up there. They kind of bailed. So now we see red kind of crossing in front of us. This is the smaller part of the advanced group, it would seem, because there's another large group coming behind, which you'll see in a minute or so. Okay, and here comes the bigger rear guard, if you will, of the red group. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a Leroy Jenkins, kind of bursting through them, see if I can catch the guys that I know are already starting to break. I'll circle back. And then I'm going to push through again. Try not to get too far ahead. We're still working on that. I like to really squirrel and get ahead. And speaking of squirreling and such, here is another squirreling Leroy Jenkins moment brought to you by Granite Roots Gamer. See my buddy down there, squad mate, not going to leave him alone holding the bag, and come give him a hand with these ruffians. And they're up on the cliff. You see all the red up there. They have ballistas shooting at me and such. Thankfully, I can out-heal that and dodge and so forth. And I don't know if the reflective dome actually stops ballista bolts. So they're up there. The rest of our squad's coming down. They're hopping down. They're going to be beside me. See them coming down here. We're going to get ready for a push. First thing we're going to do is go up next to the wall where they can't hit us with ballistas. Why give them free hits? I think that was a good call for our commander. And to be honest, I don't think I would have thought of that. I would have probably tried to rush up through the choke and got myself killed, you know, Leroy Jenkins style. Alright, so here we go. We're going to press up against the cliff. I'm going to cut out the part where our allies kind of push them up out of the choke, and then this is where we follow up behind them. We're stacked here. They're on the other side of this corner, or around the corner. And we're going to go out, circle around, then we're going to cut back to the left, because see they're kind of divided. You have some off to the right and some left. There's a little bit of a gap there in the middle. We see that now. And I'm going to turn, cut back on the tail end, or the head, depending which end of the red snake was the head of the tail. Either way, we cut them in half. Brilliant drop of the bubbles there. Thank you, Spellbreakers. And now we're going to turn our attention on the rest of the rabble and clear them out down this end as well. I gotta say, great job everyone, but right now I should say a special thanks, you'll see here and when we're contesting the circle in the next fight, to just our other healers and supports. I know I've got some Tempest stuff. Now that I've played it, I can see what their Frost Door and stuff, where that's coming from, so thank you all for the support, helping me stand tall. And hopefully I was able to return the favor and help you stand tall. Alright, so clean that out. Now we've got, this is like a long fight because it's Boon Ball. But what's interesting was to see how long I could contest the circle, which was kind of fun. It's good practice. And we end up winning this fight, spoiler alert. But again, Boon Ball, they run back and forth along a straight line. You just don't want to be where the train tracks are coming towards you. See them coming, you want to dodge off to the side. Or through them if you think you can make it, kind of like that. But you just got to be careful. Okay, I'm trying to get back to tag. Again, I go through them. probably foolish. I think I'm probably getting lucky. So try to avoid doing some of the silly stuff I do, unless you know you can make it. The funny part is, throughout this fight tonight, for whatever reason, every time we're in Firekeep, you can see the boss's AoEs. I keep getting ready to dodge, cleanse and stuff for the fear that's coming with the circular AoE or the knockback with the pie-shaped, cone-shaped AoE. So I have to try to remind myself that he's an ally, not that we're taking it. Okay, so again, you want to stay on the outskirts, circle around, kind of play this battle like two big roamers against each other. Circle around and grab the tail of the flank. You can't take a boon ball head on. It just doesn't work. They've got way too much sustain and support. And at some point I think they figured out I was a healer, and I think at this point they're following me, so I had to withdraw all the way down here, and one of them even tried following me. Okay, now I'm gonna circle around. You see I blew through my mantras, so I'm gonna kind of play it safe on the edge here a little bit. All I have are my weapon skills really to support my allies. And using the columns in this room is key. You're gonna see I do that a lot to get out of their line of sight, help avoid some pulls, mobs, all that stuff, and to work my way around to get away from them, rejoin the tag or my other fellow squad mates. So you're going to do it right here. It's a good example. See, they're over there. I don't think they specifically targeted me, but they're headed towards me, and I don't need to try to face tank that, because I could do that with maybe 3 to 7 peeps, but not a whole squad. Especially those you have, boon ball part of their comp, their DPS or glass builds, and that's where their bomb and their damage comes from. And I don't doubt that they have some hybrids running celestial stats and such in there as well, like some of the Tempests and so forth. Again, I would just love to see one night, maybe, I don't know, theme night, just all boon strip builds. Especially on a week where you're linked with boon ball guilds like this, just come in and blow them up in one shot. They charge towards your self-confident, and you just blow up, rip all their boons away, and put them down. I don't even know if that would work, but boy, I'd love to try it sometime. Because you do have healers at boon rip. It's the Scourge, Spellbreaker, some of those. I think that would be fun. But again, I don't know if it would be viable. If it would, that would be so awesome. It would probably put an end to the boon balls, and I think too it would be probably viable for even just a normal running build, because you're still going to have the heal, the support, and the DPS to take care of any builds, although you still might want a Firebrand in each sub just for stability, because you can't drop wins very effectively if you keep getting CC'd by the other group. But that is, just thoughts in the back of my head when I see comps like this. You want to have a comp that can specifically take one of these out, but also you want it to be effective against regular groups too, because otherwise you got to keep swapping, and not everybody can swap on the fly. Alright, so circle's up. I'm going to contest it. I like to think I did very well, staying alive, contesting it, but I think most of that really isn't from anything I did, it's just I wasn't getting their attention. Not till the end when they finally put me down, but I do last a long time just kind of running through. And you'll see me, I'll burn through my mantras a little bit and I'll have to back way off. I use Tome 2 quite a bit, but it's useful, obviously, kept me alive. And I'm still going to try and mess with their stability. I'm going to drop lines, I'm going to use Tome 1-3 and 1-4 and stuff, just try to add condies to them, just keep their supports busy and working, and hopefully putting their skills on cooldown. Okay, so you got the Deadeye mark there. Of course, I'm going to put the dome up and get behind the column. So those of you that get Deadeye mark, as soon as you hear the marking, you know what it sounds like. The way you die is if you go into a panic. Think about using special dodge, time drive, think about changing line of sight, think about if you have any reflex. I've roamed and put down a lot of dead eyes, just even when I'm on my thief using Dagger Storm. Warrior using Dome, NG using the Hammer 2 skill. You could even use it if you're using Staff Daredevil skill. You know, anything that reflects. It's kind of nice, and you don't have to worry. Or stealthing. You know, if I'm on my Mesmer. Those sorts of things always work. The biggest thing they've got is they mark you and they're going to shoot you. Very rarely do they mark you and then come in with dagger. They do it sometimes, but mostly it's to get off their easy rifle 3-round burst. I did a video on it a while back, roaming, just to try out Power Deadeye, and yeah, it's one versus one. It can be very overpowered, but if someone knows what you're doing, you know, versus a Daredevil, it's not as good as you think. Or if they panic, then yeah, you gotta put them down real quick. So don't panic. Find a way to block the sight. Maybe do a well-timed dodge. Because as soon as they mark you, within about 3 seconds, they're going right into that 3-round burst, typically. Unless they really know what they're doing. Most people, they're just thinking about their rotation, trying to get off as quickly as possible. This is where they finally got me. I got mobbed, ran through all my stuff, and I am dead. So I'm going to cut out the space of me running back. My allies did a great job keeping the circle contested. And now this is where they're going to start dropping. This is the end of this protracted battle, and they're just going to go down. And you see Red was kind of coming in to see what they could get out of this. Although it's a smaller kind of roaming group. I think they had like maybe 5 to 8 to 10 people in there. And we're just going to kind of ignore them. Focus on why did I go into those winds? I don't know. Almost died. Kind of had that coming. Making that foolish choice to run into the mob. But now they're going down. There they go. Seal those down. So you're losing the supports, and the rest just kind of collapses like a bad funnel cake. Alright. Again, a great run tonight. I think War and Air also fight well together. On reset nights, you know, we always tend to do better when we join together on the same borderland than when we're separate. So we appreciate that. And my buddy was getting attacked over here, so I help him out. And thank you all, and have a wonderful day.